This is basically what every day looks like for me. I'm either working on music, or in today's case, I'm working on videos. And it sounds like I'm complaining. I guess I am complaining. I shouldn't complain. I have a great home studio. I love this place. I've worked hard to make it my own. But I do miss the days where I spent a lot more time around people like myself. When I first started making music 2 decades ago, music brought me together with people. One of the first studios I worked at, there were people coming in every day from all over the country, and the music was great, the people were great, the lunches were great. It was just an amazing time. I assumed that is how it would be. I also played out live with bands, traveled, so every day I was around people. That was the first, say, 10 years of my career. And then the next 10 years, which has involved writing for production music libraries, has been unbelievable. I wouldn't change any of it, but it has meant a lot more time me focused on writing music solo. I collaborate on occasion, but for the most part, the way this works, I sit in here and I write music by myself. For those that have been around for a while, you've watched everything change. Studios went from being super big and hard to get into and very expensive to everybody has one in their house. And that's where we are now, and it's a great time. We have access to all this gear, relatively inexpensive, but there is a cost to it, and usually the cost is working with other human beings. I do have friends out there who are constantly working with other people, and I'm jealous of those people. Some friends in Nashville that do that really well. They write production music, but they still have people coming in all the time. I live kind of in the suburbs of Dallas, so it's probably on me that I'm not doing it, but it is more challenging to get people together. I don't have an answer at the end of this video as to how to fix it. I think each of us have to go about it in a different way. And one of the ways that I'm going to try to do something locally here in my community is have a composers meetup this Thursday night for all of you that live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Plano at a place called Legacy Dining Hall. We're just going to gather together and talk about music and reacquaint ourselves with one another, meet new people. A month or so ago, I did an interview with Dan Wilson. I'd love for you to go watch that video. It's one of my favorite videos that I've ever made. And we talked about finding our musical community, and he mentioned quite a few things that made a lot of sense. He talked about the need to surround ourselves with people that can help us out when we need it and that we can help. He also talked about how in your community, you might have more to offer other people who are maybe just now getting started in this business. I've been at it for 20 years. And by making this channel, hopefully I have some things that I can teach. You know, for the longest time, I went places where I could learn from people, and there are plenty of people I can learn from in this area. That's not what I mean. My role as a 43-plus-year-old, been in the business for 20 years, is probably more to help out people. And if the community doesn't exist, then I can't help people in the community. Now, this virtual community has been fantastic. And one thing that's made it neat is I know that I have helped some of you just by the way that you speak back to me about specific videos, and that really encouraged me to keep doing it. But I feel like there is a void locally in my life surrounding myself with musicians and like-minded thinkers. As I'm talking about this, hopefully it's sparking something in you. You know, maybe if nothing else, call up an old friend or invite somebody over to write a piece of music one day. There are obvious pros for having your own space. I mean, I know where everything is in the studio. I can do what I need on my computer. Nobody messes with it. I don't sit in traffic for hours a day, so those are hours that I can work. I can work late at night when everyone's in bed. I can get things done. But I am jealous because I know a few of you who work with people in close proximity. You have large co-working shared spaces, and I'm curious how that works. I drive around downtown Carrollton. It's an area I've mentioned quite a bit, and there are a handful of spaces where I think, maybe if I had a couple friends that could go in with me, we could make something happen here. So that's just me throwing that out there in case somebody has a similar idea. And honestly, I don't know if it matters that much that we team up with other composers. Maybe that's a bad idea. Perhaps It's best to be around other creative people, photographers, videographers. I'm rambling on. Really, this video is just to promote the gathering on Thursday, which is probably not very cool because most of you live far, far away from Dallas, Texas, but hopefully you'll start thinking about this. And I don't think you notice it at first, but it's just that years and years and years of solitude. Now, we have Zoom calls and all that, great, and those are actually getting pretty good. They might check the box of personal interaction, but we need more than that. And creatively, that's a whole nother video. I've forgotten how to work with other people in the same space. It feels awkward, it feels weird, but every single time I've done that, I've created something with that person that was far better than anything that I could have ever made on my own. If in your community you're doing something that works, please leave that in the comments. I would love to know. If you're new here, most of my videos are about tutorials and such and reviews, but if you don't mind listening to me talk, I made a video this last summer about the things that I wish that I would have learned earlier in my career, so go watch that. Talk soon.